I saw my friend touch my wife's butt in a way that seemed way too friendly, and she actually smiled back at him. Now I'm left questioning our entire relationship, wondering if there's something going on behind my back. Hey Reddit. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but I feel like I need to get it off my chest. My wife, Sarah, and I have been married for 5 years, and in all that time, I've trusted her completely. We've built a life together that I'm proud of, and I never thought there'd be a day when I doubt her loyalty. But here I am, struggling to make sense of something I saw last Friday. I'd organized a little get-together at our house, inviting a few close friends over for drinks and food. It was a pretty standard night for us, laughter, shared memories, and a general sense of comfort among friends. My best friend, Jake, was there. We've known each other since high school and have always had a close bond. He's like a brother to me, and I'd never had any reason to question his intentions around Sarah. But last Friday, I saw something that's been gnawing at me ever since. I was in the kitchen, grabbing drinks, when I turned around and saw Jake standing close behind Sarah. They were both laughing, and as I watched, Jake placed his hand on her lower back, but it lingered a bit too long, and I swear it slid a bit lower than what seemed appropriate. Sarah didn't pull away. In fact, she gave him a little smile, a warm, appreciative smile. It wasn't like she was uncomfortable at all, and that's what threw me. My first reaction was shock. I froze in place, trying to process what I'd just seen. Jake and Sarah, two people I trust implicitly, sharing a moment that felt intimate. I told myself I must have been imagining things, that maybe it was just an innocent touch, a moment taken out of context. But as the night wore on, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. I started to notice little things, subtle glances between them, light touches, and private jokes. Nothing overtly inappropriate, but enough to make me feel uneasy. When the night finally ended and everyone went home, I thought about bringing it up with Sarah. But I didn't know how. How do you bring up something like that without sounding insecure? So, I went to bed, but sleep was impossible. That moment in the kitchen kept replaying in my mind, and I kept questioning myself. Had I really seen what I thought I'd seen? Or was I overreacting? Update. A few days later, I called Kayla and asked if we could talk. I didn't want this to fester or make things worse, so I decided to address it head on. We met up at a coffee shop, and I started by asking if everything was okay with her. She seemed surprised at first, but then I brought up her recent actions. I asked her why she had been posting those old pictures and why she'd shown up uninvited to our gathering. At first, Kayla tried to downplay it. She said she was just being nostalgic and that she was looking out for me. I didn't buy it. I gently told her that her actions were starting to make Lena uncomfortable, and I wanted her to be more respectful of our relationship. Kayla became defensive and started making excuses. She said things like, "I'm just trying to make sure you're happy and I've been there for you through everything." She accused me of not understanding how much she had sacrificed when our families merged. She was clearly hurt, and I could see that there were deeper feelings here. She even said something that stuck with me: "I thought we were close. Now it's like you're just abandoning me." That comment hit me hard. I never wanted Kayla to feel abandoned, but I also couldn't let her sabotage my relationship with Lena. The conversation ended on a sour note, and we both left feeling unsettled. It was clear that this wasn't going to be an easy fix. Another update. I'm ashamed to admit this, but I ended up going through Sarah's phone. I know it was a violation of her privacy, and I hated myself for it, but I felt desperate. I needed to know if there was something I was missing. When she went to take a shower, I took her phone and checked her messages, focusing on her conversations with Jake. There was nothing overtly suspicious, just regular messages about group plans and friendly banter. But then I saw one text from a few weeks back that unsettled me. It was from Jake, and it read, "Can't wait to see you tonight," followed by a winking emoji. That may not sound like much, but in the context of everything else I'd seen, it felt like a red flag. I tried to tell myself it could mean anything, that I was reading too much into it. I kept scrolling but didn't find any other messages that stood out. It was both a relief and a source of frustration. I wanted clear answers, but all I had was a string of vague interactions that didn't prove anything. I've tried to keep things normal, but every time I see Jake, I'm hyper aware of every word, every glance. I'm torn. Part of me wants to confront Jake directly, but I don't know if I'm ready for whatever he might say. If he denied everything, would I believe him? And if he admitted to something, what would I do with that information? I feel trapped in my own thoughts, unable to move forward or let go. I just want some peace of mind, but right now, that seems impossible. Final update. Last night, I finally worked up the nerve to talk to Jake. I invited him over under the pretense of needing some guy time. We sat on the porch, shared a few beers, and after a while, I brought up what had been bothering me. I told him I'd noticed how close he and Sarah seemed and asked if there was anything going on between them. I tried to keep it casual, but my heart was pounding. At first, Jake seemed shocked. He looked at me like I'd slapped him, and then he quickly denied everything. He told me I was being ridiculous, that I was letting my imagination get the best of me. But as I kept pressing, his tone changed. He got defensive, almost angry, and accused me of not trusting him or my own wife. He even suggested that I was risking our friendship over a misunderstanding. I didn't know how to respond. I expected him to be more understanding, maybe even reassure me. Instead, he turned it back on me, making me feel guilty for even bringing it up. When he left, I felt worse than ever. Not only was I still doubting Sarah, but now I felt like I'd driven a wedge between Jake and me as well. Sarah noticed that something was off and asked what was wrong, but I couldn't bring myself to tell her. I just said I was stressed from work, and she seemed to accept that. But I feel like there's a distance between us now, something that wasn't there before. I don't know where to go from here. I've thought about suggesting couples therapy, hoping that maybe a neutral party could help us sort things out. But part of me is scared of what might come to light. I never imagined I'd be in a situation like this, questioning the loyalty of the two people I care about most. Right now, I feel lost. I don't know if I'm seeing things that aren't there or if there's something I'm missing. I just want to find a way forward, to either move past this or figure out the truth. For now, all I can do is try to keep going and hope that, one way or another, I'll get the answers I need.